I am Kymberly Bonet, and I'm a real person with real opinions. Oh man, if a 200-pound man come up on me, you better worry about that 200-pound man. Hello, I don't know if I'm opening up this vlog or just continuing it, because the reality is I've been filming a little bit, but I kind of feel like I want to trash or delete, whatever you call it. I want to get rid of what I filmed because much of it was like coming fresh off the election. And I won't kid you, I felt the way. I genuinely did. It wasn't even so much about which candidate won. It was the breakdown of how. It was the breakdown of who voted which way. And don't get it twisted, I am so proud of Black people. You know what? It's almost a habit for me to say Black and brown people, because I've never shared this, I don't think, but I work with the DEIB, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee. In my district is a long name. But anyway, I've worked with that for a while. I am by nature someone who wants to help and assist my community, however I can. My career is built on it. I do it outside of that. In addition to that, I even hope that I'm able to offer you guys something when I'm talking with you, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be a thing where I'm just getting from and not contributing to. So seeing that breakdown and how, just to know that basically the Latinx community pretty much ushered him back into the White House was a lot. Or people of color, as we've been formerly known as, because it's a week out. It is now a week out, because today is what, Tuesday the 12th? So it is literally 1 week out from election night, and I still feel a bit tender. We're going to call it that. I feel a bit tender about that and just lack the understanding. But all that being said, I don't know if this is the intro or if I'm going to end up deleting that too. Probably I will. But anywho, let's just start it over as if I've got a new intro. And I'm going to say, hello, darling. Welcome to another vlog. Here we are in my bathroom because I feel like coloring my hair. Like, I just feel like a change. I've been sick all week. I think my last video is probably been, we might be on our way to 2 weeks by the time I put this out. But I was down kind of bad. I'm wearing a mask every day at work now. Still just a little bit of raspiness in my chest, which is why I hadn't washed my hair, but I'm about as over it, I think, as I can be for now. Like, I would say I'm about 90% healed, so I'm ready to wash my hair and add a little color to it. I don't think I want to do this as an all-over color, and I'll tell you what gave me the inspo for it. This summer, I had locks, and the locks I feel like they just lightened my whole look. Like, not made me look lighter skinned, no interest in that, but just gave me a lighter feel, or it could have been even the hairstyle, Kymberly. Which one was it? We don't really know. But I've had my hair lightened before and I loved it. The only problem was it was really damaging, because when she did it, my hair was like Pamela Anderson bleach blonde, and then she put more of the brown hues in the highlight. It was gorgeous. I wish I had a picture, but that was how many phones ago, I do not even know. And then as it pertains to me coloring my hair, I've always been dyeing it black. I feel like having it black not only covers the potential grays we're now confessing to, they're probably showing up right now, but it not only covered those, but I feel like it made my hair look thicker, even healthier, I would say. But yeah, we probably tangled up in some of everything in here, because I literally have been bun. I may have had a low side bun here and there, but no, it's pretty much been bun city in this head. So yeah, it's time to, we're gonna need to do a little detangling and just get it together, because Yeah, so like I said, I'm not going to color my whole head of hair. I'm just going to go with some highlights and probably really just hit it, you know, like where I like to part it. Oh, when I tell you that feels good. Pause for the itch. But yeah, we y'all will see. Y'all see in a minute. But we're going to do that. Right? Yeah. We're doing it. We're doing it. I bought the box. I'm committed. Come on now. I invested a whole $6.99. That is not why. I'm just going to go through with it. Pull the trigger. And here we go. Y'all will see. Hey, I'll tell you what though. If this doesn't come out well, could y'all pray I get a couple of 2-3 wig sponsors? Can we? No, I ain't going to say pray about that because this country got a whole lot of other stuff that we had ought to be praying about. So anyway, I'm going to get off. Wanted to do an intro. We're going to color the hair. Cross your fingers. That's not too much to ask, is it? Cross your fingers that we come out well. But if it doesn't, hey, it's just hair. And I've been this long before. I've had a pixie. Imagine that with my big face. But I thought it was too cute. And all people would say is, why did you cut your hair? Why did you? I mean, because it's something different. Like I'm craving something different. Let me just get to it and we'll see how it turns out later. Wish me luck. Here goes nothing. Oh baby, we done did it now. This is about where I want it to hit. Right about here. And I'm thinking, you know, once it's got a little bump to it, it's gonna fall exactly where I want it to fall. And I think I want my bangs, you know, to softly fall right around my eyes. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna cut right at the tip of my nose so that, you know, once it's kind of softly layered and all that jazz, it should fall right where I want it to. If not, it'll be a couple of months growing this baby back out. And I'm trying to not be too blunt here because I do want the softer layers to fall around my face, as opposed to like a blunt bob. It's not really a bob at all. I don't know, maybe look, trying to tell you what it ain't, I don't know what it is. Smart girl would have done this probably on a Saturday morning. But no. We want to do it on a work night. And if I'm too tired, that's too bad. I ain't got sub plans the first. So we're going to work tomorrow. Looking crazy or cute, we don't know. But we're going to work. Let's see what we look like when we try to. Can't really tell because it's too stiff. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Plus when we highlight it. So my idea is that I should be able to kind of still pull it back a little if I want. It may not be but a smaller scoop, but I might be able to. Well, that was always an undercut anyway, so we ain't tripping that part. So it even sounds different. Looks even, but I still want to give a little. All right, quit playing with the girl. Now we color. Look, usually I don't read directions, but I better have a read on this. We're rolling with it. Okay, so we got this. I'm gonna let it sit for like 5-ish minutes. I don't think it said that, but anytime I've colored my hair, that's what I've done. Plus I need to take off my tank and all the things, so clearly we're not going to be able to color together. We'll see what it turns out like later though. Okay, and we are back. Spritzing in a little Lana Body setting lotion in my hair. And getting used to how very quick it is. I can still put it in a little snatch. A little snatch, that's all I got. But I'm okay with it. Can't see any other color, which is honestly the original reason I turned on the camera and started messing around. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and set the little snatch of hair we got and go from there. Anywho, I think I mentioned this before when I had started my hair. I done some talking about the election and all of that. I was a little bit disappointed. I was pretty disappointed actually, but again, not so much in the outcome as much as in the people who made the outcome what it was. That being said, it's just time to honestly move forward. I don't think I was as moved about it as a lot of people because, again, America showed us how it felt the first time. Has he gotten worse, cockier, and things like that? Sure. That being said, this kind of made me look a little again at P25, and in my humble opinion, it's a huge step back for women in general. And a lot of times, in a lot of ways, I can honestly say that the people in office don't greatly affect me, at least the people in the Oval Office. And I also think people underestimate people on your representatives, I should say. I think people underestimate representatives on your state level and your district attorneys and all of those things, because they, in my humble opinion, again, seem to have a bit of a greater impact, because you have to understand that these are the people who determine whether or not police officers face prosecution and things like that for crimes they may commit on the street while in uniform. That being said, of course, we all know Project 25 plans on doing away with such prosecutions altogether, but that's not the only thing. There's a lot more at stake for women. Of course, we know that the reproductive system is underway for being controlled. And I just kind of want to plant a little seed in the minds of people. I'm not telling you what to do with your body and how to think or feel about any particular issue, but I will say that how you think and feel about those issues is likely, possibly, or at least desired to be taken out of your hands. It is my recommendation. A lot of us may be thinking, he's talking about abortion rights and things like that, and you may have a given stance on it, and that's perfectly fine, but you also have to consider, let's just say if I had, for example, a 12-year-old daughter, a lot can happen in these upcoming 4 years. A 12-year-old daughter is very much a kid to me. A 16-year-old daughter, less so. Now we're talking about young ladies. And young ladies sometimes fall in love. Young ladies sometimes make mistakes. Young ladies shouldn't necessarily be punished or held to those mistakes because someone outside of my family decides it is so. And that being said, that's what I just kind of want to throw a little bit of caution out there for you in terms of, let me just say this. If it was me and I had, for example, a 12-year-old daughter, what I would in all likelihood do is seek some measures of pregnancy protection. Whether it's birth control pills, things like that, I would likely do that before the next administration gets sworn in. I've never had a plan B. I haven't had to use a plan B. And in fact, even as I speak to you now, ladies, I don't think I've shared this either. I have had a partial hysterectomy, so I don't have a concern of getting pregnant. I just have a need to help my community in any way I can. And if you're not thinking about, protecting your daughter, for example, because she's young, because she's 12 or so, again, just consider she won't be 12 this whole term. Should she be punished even if she makes a mistake? Or should she be punished if someone imposes themselves on her? Should she have the option to decide what is best for her own future and things like that? I think, those are hard decisions to face for any family. they are also, in my opinion, private decisions for a family to face. And I would just offer a consideration that before those matters are no longer private, before such matter is no longer your decision, you might want to get what you can while you can. I think, and don't quote me on this, please do check and verify, but I believe such preventative measures are good for like 3 to 4 years. I really feel like 4 is the magic number, which again would put your daughter at about 16, when a lot of girls, trust me, if you never had a 16-year-old daughter, that's about the time they think they know everything. And they know very little about the world and the way it works. That's one thing I'm going to say. Another thing I want to say is, not only have I absolutely no concern, fear, or worry of pregnancy, but I am also a divorced woman. And again, looking at Project 25, in addition to, the police issue, trying to do away with the Board of Education and all the things, they are also trying to restrict a woman's ability. And I say a woman because, let's face it, far and abundantly more times than not, the person who files for a divorce is a woman. And a lot of times, in my case even, I filed a no-fault divorce. It was just irreconcilable differences. We grew apart, in large part, honestly, because he started to choke on a red pill. I also don't know if I've shared that before or not. I think I kind of alluded to it in like one of my first videos, where he and his friends would kind of sit around and talk all that, I'm the pray, you pray, we pray, it's kind of junk. And but I never really fully went into that. Just so you know now, that is the reason. If women were limited, if I had the limitations that Project 25 now proposes, I would still probably be in that marriage, or at the very least, it'd be darn hard for me to get out of it. So I just, these are just times where, in my opinion, I'm one of those people who I prefer to act, I don't know, I'm one who prefers to have and not need than need and not have. Which reminds me, someone asked me about it, what was that, last week? I'm trying to remember, when was I sick and when was I out? The last time I went out, someone asked me something about, do I ever worry? I'm so sorry, I'm reaching, I don't know if I'm in and out of focus or if this video will even be usable. But someone asked me if I ever worry about getting out and about and things like that by myself. Well, 2 things with that. One, a lot of times it looks like I'm alone, when in reality I'm not. I just opt not to film the other person, since, it's just the Kymberly Bonet channel. It's not Kymberly and Friends or Kymberly and Dates and all of that. The other thing, though, is, I don't know if I told you, I took a self-defense course. It is not something that made me feel like, oh man, if the 200-pound man come up on me, you better worry about that 200-pound man. I'm by no means thinking that. It just boosted my confidence, or it gave me ideas. And I'll tell you what else, it debunked some myths. I don't know if you're like me, my mother and grandmother taught me, and I'm pretty sure I taught my daughter, that if a stranger or something comes up on you and accosts you or whatever, you get your keys, you thread them through your hands, and you strike them, and you do. Self-defense told me, oh baby, if he's within striking distance, he's already gotten too close. I mean, we're teaching you some things that should help, but in no way did they claim, or did I ever think, I don't think they claimed it anyway, that I could take on a 200-pound man. I mean, there's just a totally different kind of strength to that. I've never even tested that theory. So, yeah, that being said, back to the person asking me about, do I feel safe and things like that. Some of the things y'all don't know, in fact, let me grab my purse really, really quickly and show you what I'm talking about. So one thing about me is I always have, I took it off my keyring thing, but I always have this pepper spray, and it has a little feature. I get every single point. I do not point guns, any sprays, any of that toward my face. as a precaution. But anyway, oops, don't lean on that, Kymberly. It has this little safety feature here where, you know, you twist it, depress it, and spray it in someone's face. In the years I've had it, never used it. You leave that out because I know I'm going to put it right back. And then I got this little deal from Amazon. It has a little LED light to help you see. Looks pretty innocuous enough, you know. If you pull this, it makes a sound. So get ready for the sound in about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And my plan, before I would ever even pull that, let me get back to setting my hair. My plan before I would ever even pull that would be, of course, to scream out first. And it's important that when you're screaming out, you're not just screaming, stop, no, you know, help, whatever. Because a lot of times people are playing and they scream that out. Instead, scream out directly, help, stranger, you know, help, I'm being robbed, help, whatever it is that's happening. But I would just do more than just, you know, scream out. That way, once I've screamed and I've paired it with that sound, I feel like people will be more alerted. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll dive in and help, but I would hope so. I also, when I am actually alone, don't mind asking someone, hey, if, you know, when you see someone you know, you don't ask any old crazy body, hey, you mind walking me to my car? It feels like I need to put just a little more moisture on that. And I'm having to use my Living Proof, which isn't bad. I've used it before. But I have been getting on my little Taraji P. Henson product, that Ride or Die Strong. It smelled good, worked good, all of that. And lo and behold, I went to, ooh, that's so short. I went to Walmart, they didn't have it. I went to Target, no. Ulta Beauty doesn't even carry it. I'm like, is there something I should know? Is it gone by the way, like Mayel or something? Which I didn't even know for the longest that Mayel was a problem. Had a nice, good, full bottle. Made me nervous enough to not use it. But anyway, I forgot where I left off. I think I was just saying that it's important to protect yourself and, you know, the pepper spray, the alarm, contraceptives if you think you may need it. I mean, again, in my humble opinion, it's just better to have and not need than to need and not be able to have anymore. These are just really some different times. If you're in a relationship, in a marriage, really, and you're having those issues, you know, I'll be honest, people have asked me about relationships and marriages before, and yes, I am divorced. However, I still hold marriage as something that is sacred. But you know what else is sacred? Your body. Your body is also sacred, and no one should be touching it in a way that you don't approve of. No one should be touching it in a way that is harmful. And I have known far too many women who, because they are married, they stayed in such situations. And that is not something I advocate, even with me wanting marriage to work and things like that. I can't advocate that any more than I can advocate someone states away who's never met you, looked in your eyes, known your situation, to tell you what you should and should not do with your body. And let me go back to young women. This is in the day when we really thought, you know, to have a future, you very much need to go off to college, and, you know, that's going to help you to get a successful job and all the things. But for all the projections that college is and all the wonderful things and the good time, I mean, I did a lot of growing in college. That much is true. But I also saw a lot of things in college. And specifically, one of the things that I saw was SAs. And they just were not reported. I'll never forget hearing about a particularly rough one that occurred. I don't even have to say allegedly, because, you know, the person actually did end up doing a little piece of time for it. But one of the rougher ones I'd heard about, I remember hearing about it, and I called my mother. And I was like, you know, Ma, don't worry about me. I'm safe. I'm sure you're going to hear about this. And, you know, same thing for my father. It wasn't me. I'm aware of the person. And, you know, just the whole thing, because she was also from KC. And days later, I wound up going back home. And my parents were like, so what happened? We watched the news. We never saw it. Y'all, a lot of the crimes that occur on a college campus are never, first of all, they're hardly ever reported. You know, we found that out too as young women on a college campus. Who would believe and all of that. That's a real thing. I haven't done the data on it, but just from what I remember in college, I would dare to say not even half of the occurrences are reported. Far less prosecuted, you know. So that was something to consider. But then I also knew personally a girl who stayed in my dorm. And I don't know why I'm telling all this, and it just may very well get taken out. But I don't know, maybe not, because if it'll make someone reconsider and think about what may lie in store. Oops, that's a little bit tangled. We don't like that. For their daughter, then hey, maybe this will help. I had at one point classes only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the way it worked was that, I don't know if it still works like that, so forgive me for explaining. But the way it worked was the Tuesday, Thursday classes were like an hour and a half for the same amount of credit as a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, which was like just an hour or 50 minutes or something like that. It could have been an hour and 45 minutes. I really don't know. But I just know Tuesday, Thursday classes were longer. So I might start off in class at 8 o'clock in the morning and wouldn't get out until 5. But I only had to do it for 2 days. That actually worked better for me in terms of my not wanting to get up and be bothered on an everyday basis than did going to class definitely 5 days a week, but even 3. Like who was I that I couldn't be bothered going to class 3 days a week? But anyway, that's how I had my schedule set up. So I would be up all hours of the nights. We playing cards, we hanging out, we having a good time. And it started getting to be toward the end of the year where you'd start seeing more and more people pack up, more and more people leaving, and all those things. And we were like, oh, what happened? Flunked out. A whole lot of them were just flunking out of college left and right. And they were like, dang, how are you managing? Well, first of all, I only go to class 2 days a week. And for those 2 days, you know, I'm good. I studied on, you know, the weekends or the other days that I didn't go to class. And you know, that was enough for me to maintain and get my little happy tail through college. But that being said, we started seeing, oh gosh, it's so hard to even talk about it. In part because I knew her, but you know, I knew her in passing. I knew her because we'd seen each other, played cards, eaten in the dining hall, different things like that. And for years, I wish I had known her personally just to kind of check on her as I wondered about her. But the scenario in which I'm talking about was she called herself liking a boy. And I never forget, we were out there playing cards, having a good time, and she and the guy disappeared. And after she and the guy disappeared, you know, I noticed another guy or two might disappear. And this is before we had cell phones, so it's not like I saw them looking at their phone. That's a little too wet. A little heavy-handed with the spray. So it's not like I saw them looking at their phone or anything. It was just like periodically another boy and then another boy or something would disappear. And so we weren't putting 2 and 2 together. I never forget one boy said, I might as well go on up there too. I ain't, you know, it ain't like I'm a graduate. I ain't got nothing to really stay here for. And so he also disappears. And as it turns out, a couple of boys, when she went up there with the boy she liked, a couple of boys also hid in the closet and filmed it. Filmed the act that she did with the boy that she liked. After filming it, they gave her some line about, hey, you might as well have fun with my boy too, because if you don't, we're going to say you did. We're going to say this and that. And you all have to understand, this is before social media. This is, you know, at a time when there was still a lot more shame about sexuality and desire and all of that stuff for women, which is exactly what it kind of sounds like folks are trying to return us to. But, you know, she was just really, she believed that. she was taking Invite, and that night she'd also had some drinking. Drinking was involved, so her decisions were impaired, but she ended up, being with far more than she initially planned on, right? I can't say it was a flat out SA, but it definitely sounded like coercion. And I say that because even the boys had talked about it, and I only know it because a guy that I had befriended came back and he was like, man, you're not gonna believe what went on up there. And I was like, what happened? And he's like, yeah, they talking about how, they pretty much set up old girl, and he's the one that gave the rundown, of what I just pretty much said to you. So this came out of the boys' mouths. I mean, wow. Not that it wasn't enough to come out of her mouth, but, it further verified what she said. She ends up dropping out of school. Of course, they were pretty much kicked out of school. And I remember asking someone the following year, one of the few people who had returned, because she was from St. Louis, and I asked them, hey, you ever hear about or hear from so-and-so? And they just said she was doing bad. She's went and got herself strung out. She didn't just go get herself strung out. She was trying to cope. She was, self-medicating, as they call it. It was a lot. And then, never heard anything else about it. Why am I on this grim topic? I don't know. It sounded like I got a whole lot of editing to do. I chuckle, but it's not funny. It's heavy. I probably chuckle a little bit to still keep from crying, because I can't even imagine feeling like that. I can't imagine having a daughter or someone in that circumstance. And then to add to that, to circle back to what I was saying, to having, where's this knot in my hair? To having someone who doesn't know our family, has never laid eyes on my daughter or whoever, deciding for her that in the event that something like that happened and she wasn't fully protected from it, that, she would just have to see it through. Can't imagine that. Along with that, in college, we would hear stories of, girls who were willing to have intercourse. It wasn't all coerced. Some were flat out willing, of course. And then the guy would have some kind of trickery. He would tell her, yeah, I got a condom on him. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a condom. And, they get ready to do the deed. And she said, something told me, a few friends have said that before, but something told me to reach down there, and girl, nothing. Absolutely nothing there. I mean, wow. In addition to the diseases, now you got to worry about if I get pregnant. The mistake I made of trusting this man might cost me, the next whatever years of my life. I mean, these are things that, I don't know, these are things that we need to consider in these upcoming times, in these upcoming years. I feel an obligation to just make this a public service announcement. Give it all some consideration. My heart feels a little heavy, and at the same time, I feel a little better having said and expressed all of that. I might have to give a warning at the beginning of this video, child. Had nerve to be talking about wig sponsorships and all that stuff. I might be talking just a little too real to ever be sponsored, but if I'm talking real enough to help someone, then I've done a great thing. That being said, to lighten it up a little bit, we'll sit under, dry a little bit, and see what we have in the morning. I took off to dry my hair and realized I didn't show the back of my head. So for anyone curious about it, this is what we're looking like in the back. That's just the regular pattern I use, whether my hair is long or short. And the hodgepodge size of rollers is just because it's shorter. I'm kind of wanting a curlier effect on the top. We'll see. It's going to be a trial and error in terms of setting it this time and then finding out how I should have set it, or finding out that, yep, this pretty much worked. All right, with that said, I'm going to dry it a little bit. All right, just sat under the dryer for a little bit and washed my face, as you can see, and ended up getting some of my edges wet, but I tucked them behind afterwards. I don't dry my face when I wash it. I just put the hyaluronic acid on it. So if you're wondering, like, girl, why you with a wet face, that's why. And I'm nobody's, what do you call those, estheticians? But I feel like having my skin wet gives the hyaluronic acid something to actually drink in. I could be dead wrong. So don't listen to me. But we'll style it. And anyway, I need to start getting ready for work. And you'll see what it looks like later. So, is it just me, or when you look at my hair, do you see some people's president? I swear. I see some people's president in my hairdo. I'm not pleased about that. Once I combed it out, girl, I was ready to cut it on down to a pixie. Take off the back and everything. But we ain't got time. We already late. I was trying to try on sunglasses. That's my iron going off. I bumped my dress a little bit, which I don't know why. Well, y'all can't tell, but I'm wearing it inside out. Today is inside out Spirit Day at my school, so my dress is actually inside out, looking kind of crazy. That's all right. The kids don't even know it's Spirit Day, so I expect to get told about 11 times that my dress is inside out. We're running late. Planning the hair, getting opinions from my daughter. She was like, no, it does not look like the orange guy. I swear, that's all I see. Now that I've seen it, that's all I can see. No doubt some of y'all will let me know. Putting on a little setting powder. Put some concealer on. How about I put too much on? Always when you're running late, right? Go to my vanity and pick up some setting spray. That should help. I gotta get used to having bangs again. And I hope I don't break out on my forehead. Yeah, whole lot of get used to's and remembers that I need to do. Girl, which way you want to go, Carol? Which way? It's clearly your world. I'm not cooperating. Oh, my hands are ashy. Forgive me, y'all. We are getting ready and in a rush. I gotta get myself together, get out the door. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on another vlog. I have no idea. Honestly, as I say this, I have no idea where exactly this vlog is going to be. I mean, it's me, so it's probably going to be all over the map. But in terms of, do I truly express my views and opinions? Because, man, I've had opinions about some of the most minute things, and people have come for me. I've had opinions on what I should wear, and people have come for me. So it is my expectation that I will probably offend several if I keep that in there. But at the end of the day, I got to be true to me. Sorry, I don't know if I'm in shot or not. Yep, I'm not. Now I know I'm not. Just took a peek. But I just hope you all understand at the end of the day, I have to be true to me. I have to do what I feel is a little bit of help to my community, you know, sounding an alarm. Thanks for tuning in. I am Kymberly Bonet, and I'm a real person with real opinions. I like this little lip plumper. It is not for the faint of heart. First time I put it on, I was like, oh, okay. It's got a burn to it. Anywho, thanks again. Probably pick the camera right back up, start it over. So when you see me in my dress here, of course I can't see if I can be seen or not. But anyway, don't say nothing when you see me in the same old dress. Be kind in the comments to me and anyone else who expresses an opinion that does or does not agree with me. And we'll talk again real soon.